We have seen WWE crown some of the biggest names in the history of the business, such as The Rock, John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar and Sasha Banks as champions at an early age. Recently the brand new United States champion Austin Theory claimed he was the youngest United States champion ever in WWE. So we thought we would check if this was true, and while we were at it we checked who was the youngest superstar to hold every other currently active championship in WWE in 2022. Before we tell you who, we would like to remind you that you can check out all of our other videos afterwards. You can find the link to these in the description below, and please subscribe for future videos. Currently there are 10 active championships on the main roster and 4 active championships in NXT. Let's reveal the youngest person to win each of these championships in WWE. The 24/7 Championship. This championship was introduced by Mick Foley on Raw in 2019. This championship was given the stipulation that it could be defended at any time and in any place. Similar to the hardcore title from the Attitude Era, but without the weapons. We can reveal the youngest 24/7 champion is Bad Bunny, who won the championship at 26 years and 342 days old. Bad Bunny won the championship after pinning Tozawa in a backstage segment after getting some assistance from Damian Priest. Bad Bunny held the title for exactly a month, but decided to vacate it by returning it to R-Truth. Up next is the Women's Tag Team Championships. These titles were introduced in January 2019 by Alexa Bliss on Raw. Since being introduced, these championships have been won by several randomly thrown together teams, and their relevance has taken up and downs over the years. Speaking of someone that was thrown together in a random team, we can reveal the youngest women's tag team champion is Rhea Ripley, who was 24 years and 344 days when she won. While teaming with Nikki Cross, they were able to defeat Natalya and Tamina to win the gold in September 2021. They held the titles for 2 months before losing to Carmella and Zelina Vega. Next is the Raw Tag Team Championship. You may be shocked to hear that these championships were established in 2002 by Stephanie McMahon on SmackDown. Following the 2016 WWE Draft, the titles were renamed as the Raw Tag Team Championships. The holder of this championship is the youngest champion in WWE history. You may be able to guess this one, or you might be very shocked here. It's 10-year-old Nicholas, who won the titles with Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 34 in 2018 from the bar. The two vacated the championship 24 hours later on Raw. Nicholas is the son of WWE referee John Cone. Next is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which was introduced by Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan after the 2016 WWE Draft. The youngest person to hold this title is Dominic Mysterio. He was 24 years and 41 days old when he won the gold. Along with his dad Rey Mysterio, the family won the titles at the 2021 Backlash event after defeating Rude and Ziggler. They would lose the titles 2 months later to the Bloodline. Time to quickly recap the youngest holders for all the championships currently active in NXT. Starting with the North American Championship. This was introduced as the Mid-Card Championship of NXT in 2018. The less said about this title the better, as Velveteen Dream is the youngest person to hold the title at 23 years and 164 days old. He won the title in February 2019, and would hold the title until September 2019 when he lost to Roderick Strong. This was the longest NXT North American title reign. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championship is next. These titles were introduced in March 2021 after being won by Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. At NXT Halloween Havoc, a ladder match crowned the youngest champion, and her name is Gigi Dolan. She won the titles at 24 years and 143 days old alongside Jacy Jayne. Toxic Attraction had the longest NXT Women's Tag title reign before losing it to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai during WrestleMania 38 weekend. Next is the NXT Women's Championship. The title was introduced in April 2013 and was first won by Paige. Believe it or not, Paige has remained the youngest person to win the NXT Women's Championship. She was 20 years and 307 days old when she defeated Emma to win the tournament. Paige was forced to vacate the championship 1 year later after getting a main roster call-up to Raw. Paige is also the youngest Divas champion of all time when she defeated AJ Lee the night after WrestleMania 30. The NXT Championship. The title was introduced by the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, in summer of 2012. The youngest person to win this title was Bo Dallas, who won the gold at 22 years and 363 days old after defeating Big E in May 2013. He lost the title in February 2014 at NXT Arrival to Neville in a ladder match. Let's focus again on the main roster championships. Starting with the WWE United States Championship. This title was reintroduced as a WWE Championship title in 2003 after being won by Eddie Guerrero. This championship was created in 1975 in Jim Crockett Promotions, which then eventually became a part of WCW. The youngest person to win this championship is David Flair, Who won the title in WCW at 20 years and 121 days old? For this video, we are focused on the youngest people to win championships in WWE. Meaning the youngest person to win this title in WWE is current champion Austin Theory, who defeated Finn Balor in April 2022 to win the United States Championship. This is the only championship in WWE where the youngest holder was not in WWE. Sticking with the mid-card titles, our next championship is the Intercontinental Championship, which was first won by Pat Patterson in 1979. This championship is regarded as one of the most prestigious titles in WWE, with many people using it as a launching pad to elevate themselves into the main event scene. The youngest person to win the Intercontinental Championship is Jeff Hardy. Jeff defeated Triple H in a 2001 April episode of SmackDown. Jeff was 23 years and 222 days old when he defeated the Game. Jeff dropped the title back to Triple H the following week. Up next we focus on the women again. The SmackDown Women's title was introduced by Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan after the 2016 WWE Draft. The youngest person to win this championship is Alexa Bliss. Alexa was 25 years and 117 days old when she won the championship. Alexa won the title after defeating Becky Lynch in a tables match at the 2016 Tables, Ladders, and Chairs event. Alexa dropped the title 2 months later to Naomi. This one was seen as launching pad, which elevated Alexa Bliss as one of the top stars in the company. Our final women's championship to discuss is the Raw Women's Championship. This was introduced in 2016 by Lita at WrestleMania 32 and was first won by Charlotte Flair. 3 months later, after the WWE Draft, on the first night of the new Monday Night Raw, our youngest Raw Women's Champion was crowned. Sasha Banks became the youngest person to win the championship on this night at 24 years and 171 days old. Sasha defeated Charlotte in a great match, which kicked off the new era of Raw. This was the beginning of several iconic battles between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair in 2016, which saw the two switch the title several times. Our second last title to discuss is the Universal Championship, a championship which was introduced by Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley as the main title on Raw after the 2016 draft. In a very similar pattern to the previous two titles we discussed, the second person to ever win the title is still the youngest person to ever win it. The youngest Universal Champion of all time is Kevin Owens. Kevin won the title at 32 years and 114 days old after winning a fatal 4-way at the end of August 2016 on Raw. In our opinion, Kevin Owens went on to have the most entertaining Universal title run to date and would eventually lose the title to Goldberg just before WrestleMania 33. Pretty shocking to hear that there has never been a Universal Champion under 30 years old. Our last championship to discuss is the biggest championship in the wrestling industry, which is the WWE Championship, which was first introduced by WWF in 1963. As of May 2022, current WWE Champion Roman Reigns is having the 146th WWE Championship reign. Our youngest WWE Champion is the guy Roman Reigns defeated to win that championship. His name is Brock Lesnar, who won the title at 25 years and 44 days old. Brock managed to defeat The Rock at the 2002 SummerSlam event to win his first ever WWE Championship. He would go on to lose the title to Big Show at Survivor Series. During this time in 2002, WWE were hyping Brock Lesnar as the next big thing. Brock winning the title at this early age was a clear sign that was indeed the case. And that's WWE's youngest champions. As seen by this video, usually when WWE crowns a champion at an early age, they have clear plans to evolve them as a top star. We have seen that happen with the women's champions Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, the Intercontinental Champion Jeff Hardy, and it happened to the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. It will be interesting to see if Austin Theory is next, and who will be the next current crop of superstars that could break these records soon. Just a reminder, you can check out our other videos in the description below, such as the Greatest Backlash Women's Matches, Randy Orton Greatest Matches, Sasha Banks Greatest Wins, and WrestleMania 38 Ranked Worst to Best. Plus more shorts and full-length videos. If you have enjoyed the video and found it educational, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more future content. You can also give our Twitter page a follow for a chat. We hope to see you again soon, and thanks for watching.